sharing information and inspiration. This is WIDU, the We Do Network.
Any views or opinions presented on this program are solely those of the host and do not necessarily represent those of the owners, management, staff, advertisers, or sponsors of this radio station. It is not our intent to make any defamatory statements or infringe upon the rights of any human being. Any such communication is contrary to our core values and belief as hosts of Heartbeat.
ATC Tower, this is Heartbeat Flight 2026. Permission to take off.
Permission granted. Heartbeat 2026. Take off.
Shh. Heartbeat.
You're listening to Heartbeat.
Happy Friday and good morning. Welcome to WIDU's We Do's Wake Up. We're on your radio dial. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Good morning to all of our live viewers. Hope you're well today. Be sure to like, share, and comment. We kick off Wake Up now with Heartbeat Radio Talk Show. The team is here. We have one who is away on assignment. He sends his best. Bishop J.L. Godbolt will be back next week, but we got the crew of the crew that can hold it down and get the job done. For today's Heartbeat Radio Talk Show, we have the best of the best, and I don't know if they notice it or not. They're kind of twinning in color today. We have hosting Heartbeat today, Senior Pastor Ron Godbolt is in the building today, as well as Coach Minister Tony Billingsley. They have great topics of talk lined up for you today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy and get ready. Also, they do take call-ins. Now is a good time to call in at 910-483-6111. Good morning, gents. We're ready for you, praying and trusting that your week has been well. It's all on you. Take it away, Heartbeat team, Heartbeat family.
Good morning, Tammy. We're glad that we're here, and thank you for such a great introduction, as you do every Friday. And we're Heartbeat, missing one, but we're going to try to carry on anyway. I'm Dr. Ron Godbolt.
And I'm Tony Billingsley.
All right. And before we get started, let me remind you, if you're interested in Grief Share, we have a Grief Share program at our church, One Church Covenant Fellowship, 918 Person Street, here in the city of Fayetteville, North Carolina. They meet in person every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30. Going over topics and discussions and things that would help those dealing with grief. And then there's an online program every Saturday from 9 to 10:30. But you need to call the church to get all the details. No fee, free of charge, and you can get what you need. The phone number at the church is 910-323-8889 and extension 22. We have a very capable director, Angela Caraway Williams, and she'll be glad to help you, get you started. If you want to just come and look and see what's going on, just come. You don't need an invitation for that. Just drop in anytime you want to. We'd love to have you. Brother Tony, what you got on your mind?
I tell you, I may not be very popular after this particular subject, but lately I've been seeing a lot of things, and it concerns me. We hear this term baby mama and baby daddy all the time.
Oh, man.
And so it prompted me to think, well, how many single parent households are there in America, and particularly in the black community? I was alarmed to find out that we're sitting at about 23 million children living in single parent households
23 million.
in America. In the black community, 67%, some statistics as high as 70% of black children live in single parent homes. And there are many reasons for that, but we have to look at the overall effects. How does it really affect our community when children have to be reared by one parent? And much of what's happening is by choice. As I was researching this, I was reading an article indicated an NBA star, and I'm not going to call the name because he's a great basketball player, but he has 4 children by 4 different women.
Wow.
And who knows which one of those women he chooses to live with, and how those children are being reared is going to be affected. And he's a wealthy individual, so it's not a matter of poverty. We find that many of these children who live in single parent homes are subject to low income parents. And so unfortunately that does affect the way children come up. It affects their developmental strength, it affects their education, and all kinds of things. I got curious as to how this was affecting Black America in the 60s and the 50s. So I concentrated mostly on the 60s. In the 60s, approximately 22 to 28% of Black children lived in single-parent homes.
Wow, from 27 to
From
60.
from 22% now to 67%. At about that same time, though, in the 60s, only 7% of white children lived in single-parent homes. And so as we start to track this during the 70s and the 80s, we found out that many different things affect that. So there was a shift in the 1960s where we had more governmental programs coming into effect. We saw grants and community grants, and we saw the advent of the welfare community. So by the time we reached the 70s and the 80s, women were encouraged almost to have children out of wedlock.
I've heard women say, I make more money staying home than I can working.
It's unfortunate, and I actually heard somebody make this comment that they had about 7 children, no father in the home, 7 children by different fathers, and they were getting $2,000-3,000 a month alone in EBT. And I'm thinking, okay, the children need to be fed. But what are we doing? Are we encouraging the absence of fathers in the home in our communities? So that startled me, and I started to look at some things as to how people were being affected. African American children who grow up in single parent homes are 77 times more likely to be involved in the criminal justice system. And we know once you get involved in the criminal justice system, we know eventually where that leads. These children tend not to perform, unfortunately, as well in school on standardized testing. Many are reading slightly below grade or at grade level rather than above grade level.
Yeah.
So there are many factors that we need to look at, and as a community, we really need to be concerned, especially when we tout and we highlight and we celebrate the idea that a child 15 years old is having a baby out of wedlock.
Yeah. You know, it's I was a principal of an elementary school, and I had rather 85% free and reduced lunch. Now that means that most of these kids came in, they were behind on reading level, attendance problems, moving from house to house, and rent due, move to another place, staying with cousins for a while. It's a lot of issues outside of school. So we had to do a lot to get them at a point where they could function in school, because there's so much going on at home. Lights not on, no food, that kind of thing. So you make a good point. This affects the children, and they come in behind already, and now they got to try to catch up to be on grade level by time this time to take. At the time, EOG testing, we was on that then.
Yeah, and please don't misunderstand me. There are some great single parents, and they do an awesome job. Sometimes people get married, they bring children into the marriage, and the marriage, for whatever reason, 15 years down the road or 18 years down the road, it ends in separation and divorce. And now you've created a single parent home where one of the parents or both parents may decide to co-parent and raise that child, but they don't live together. So we have a dysfunctional family, biological family. It may not be dysfunctional in other areas, but biologically, it's dysfunctional.
Yeah.
So how do we compare to other ethnic groups in America? Well, Hispanic and Latino single-parent homes is sitting at about 42%. Single-parent homes where two or more races are involved is at 38%, and then white, to include non-Hispanics, is at 23%, and Asian and Pacific Islanders are at 16%. Only 16% of them live in single-parent homes.
And we up at 67%.
And we're at 67%. I see a gradual shift in the culture of Black America, where many people are deciding, well, I want a child, but I don't think I need to get married to have a child. I know of a couple, two people that are not married and deciding to have a child together. Yeah. And I'm thinking that doesn't make good sense to me, because as soon as something happens to the relationship, what position does that put the child in? Yeah.
And, and parenting, when you do it according to the Word of God, he put man and woman together, and then they had child. And, we try to get out of order from what God had laid out. That's when we get in trouble. And we, try to be smarter than God. I think I can do it this way and make it work. But, even though you're a single mother or single dad, you might be doing a good job, but there's some things that the other person that you don't have can give that child. We was in men's discussion on Monday night. We was talking about that. So often men have a habit of thinking, if I pay the bills and take care of the house, that's all I need to do. No, there's some emotional stability you need to offer, some coaching, some mentoring you need to do. So you're right, and it takes both parents to do it very well.
It's just certain things that, you, as you say, you can't do well. I'll never forget, I had an experience when I was in the military. I decided to give my wife a much needed week's vacation. So I said, well, you and the girls go off to the Philippines and enjoy yourself. And so I took a week's leave to stay home and take care of my two girls at the time. I had two girls. And I tell you,
Good Lord.
good Lord, trying to get that hair together
Yeah.
for them to go to school
All right.
or just to go out. I couldn't do it. I tried, plaiting the hair, brushing it and braiding it.
I had two girls too. I know you're talking about.
And I thought, wow, okay. There was a much greater appreciation for my wife when she returned from that much needed vacation.
Yeah. I thought about that show, Andy Griffith. I look at Andy Griffith. I love that. Aunt B went away, and they started doing pretty good, and they got the top of it and got things cleaned up. And Aunt B came, and she kind of felt like she wasn't needed no more. So they messed up the place so that she feel like she was needed. But you ain't got to worry about that. You're right. We need that partner to help us.
For our listeners who may be more interested in information regarding the well-being of children in single-parent families, there's a great article by the Annie Casey Foundation, and it highlights many of these things that you and I are discussing this morning. That more than 6 million kids live without cohabitating parents, and about 3.5 million kids live in father-only households, according to 2024 statistics. Black American, Indian, and Native American families who live in these single parents' home tend to fall well below the economic and poverty lines in America. So that's, as we said, tends to affect the development and growth of a child.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's been on my mind, I've been looking at this Nolan Wales death. And if you're not familiar with it, I don't have all the details. You know how you get sketch here and sketch there. But basically, this young man went out on a fishing trip with 2 other white boys on 4th of July. And they came back and said he drowned. And every time you turn around, there's something else. Something said that's changed. At first they were saying, "Oh, he wasn't on that boat." Now they have admitted that he was on that boat. So there's some things that a lot of people are concerned about. This disappearance on the 4th of July. What is the unanswered questions that we're trying to get to? The family believe race is involved, and that the enforcement is not handling the case strong. They kind of inconsistency with the timeline. That's not working out like they say. And authorities have said they didn't see any signs of foul play and asked for time to be diligent in gathering all the facts, while no cause of death has yet been determined. Yeah, I thought I heard drowning, but now they're saying no cause of death has been leaked out yet.
Yeah. I've started to follow this case. Initially, when I heard about it, young man missing, they hadn't found him. And then, and as you said, and let's stay with the facts and be real, he went on an outing with 4 of his friends.
Was it 4? Okay.
Yeah. And those 4 friends tended to be Caucasian. He was I think he was the only black in the group among out, and they were all friends. They hung out together, went to school together, played sports together, and those kinds of things. Well, when he didn't return, naturally the parents became concerned and asked the police to try to locate him. Well, and they did find his body. He had drowned, apparently. The initial report by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department indicated there were no immediate signs of physical injury to the body, and they did not suspect any foul play. But the parents have now called for an independent autopsy to be done on their child's remains to get a better understanding of how his demise came about. As you said and indicated, there are many different reports.
Yeah.
The initial report by his friends was that he decided to stay on this island with a young lady that he had met, and that he didn't return. That he never got on the boat. But now there is video footage of him actually being on the boat, and then the parents used some application to track the whereabouts of his phone during that period of time. And his phone appeared to be in several different locations during that period of time. And he was known not to, and most teenagers, young people their age, they're never without their phone.
They're right near them.
It's like it's permanently attached
That's right.
to their bodies. And so I think now Attorney Ben Crump is involved in this particular situation and is leading the charge to have the matter investigated further by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department there in Mississippi, and then have independent investigation as far as autopsy is concerned, and looking into that. It brings up a whole lot of issues where we see, unfortunately, the demise of individuals who go out and trust. And this is not the first case of somebody going away from home with so-called friends
and not returning.
So we need to be very careful of our associates and parents.
Yeah.
You need to know who your children are associating with.
Yes, right.
You know, back in my day, if you became friends with somebody in the neighborhood, you had to bring them to your house.
That's
Parents
right.
had to meet them.
That's right.
And then they met the parents.
That's
they want
right.
to know who is this child's parents.
That's right. Yeah, you got to be more diligent. And that's what we were talking about, I think, last week, about this team takeover. You got juveniles and young kids out 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. What are the parents doing? And you know, we got to keep an eye on our children because, you know, they, like you say, their frontal lobe not complete to 25, so they don't make good decisions all the time. So you got to make those decisions for them. And the other thing that was came up that said they was out there drinking, and he probably got drunk, fell off the boat, partying. So every time you turn around, there's something different added to the story. And they do show that he was on that boat, because at first they said he wasn't on the boat, partying and drinking. And they did find a picture of them drinking beer on the boat. So that's been ruled out now. So, like you say, it's a whole lot of questions that need to be some answers.
Yeah.
And nobody else know the answer. Them 3 other guys do.
Yeah, and we need to be cautious as I mature in age and hopefully wisdom and understanding.
Yeah.
I try to be more objective. I sit back and try to gather as many facts
before
as
I
I
make a
can,
decision.
because we become emotional simply because of the fact that more than one race is involved.
That's right.
In this, and we want to hold up the racism card and immediately say, oh, something is amiss and it may be filed. But let's let the process move forward, gather all the facts, see what's happening, and then make a determination as to the guilt, innocence, or whether or not there's something out of the ordinary going on. Right now, it appears that things are not quite above board. So there's some questions that need to be answered.
Okay, we got the car doctor coming shortly, but before he comes, let's do a did you know and a help tip for the people. So you might want to look into this, and maybe we can help you out a little bit here. What you got, Brother Tony?
All right. Initially, when margarine was developed, they passed a law that margarine could not be the same color as butter because the dairy industry got concerned. They got this artificial thing they got now
That look like butter,
that tastes like butter. So they didn't want it to look like butter. So people would, when they went to the market, wouldn't purchase that as opposed to purchasing butter. And they passed a law saying that it couldn't be the same color as a butter, and so they chose unusual colors, and pink was one of the most popular colors when margarine came out. Also, along that same line, the Fruit Loops that we eat in our cereal, even though they're different colors, they all taste the same. There's no difference in the taste of any of those colors.
Oh, Lord.
Isn't that amazing?
Got little kids for food. They think they taste something different.
Did you
I
know?
only like the red ones.
Yeah.
All right. I hope Tammy can hear this. A mantis shrimp can punch so quickly that it cannot be seen by a human eye. It can break through glass and has roughly the same power as a .22 caliber bullet.
What?
Now you talking about a punch? That's a punch.
Now,
ain't it?
that's a punch.
All right. Don't try to eat that shrimp. You might get hurt trying to get a hold of that.
Yes. That I wonder, do people eat them?
Yeah, one to
Mantis.
do. Yeah, one
Yeah.
to they do. Yeah. I never heard of that type, but it's all types of sea creatures for sure. What you got for a health tip?
Health tip. Now we say this all the time. Now we know that, and I can't pronounce the name of it. There is a parasite that's going around now, and they're asking us to be very careful.
Oh, yeah?
About eating raw fruits and vegetables. It causes explosive diarrhea, dehydration, and a lot of other things. But we need to continue to eat vegetables and fruits. So choose dark green leafy vegetables for your salad if you're going to have a raw salad. Wash it thoroughly as opposed to the lighter kind like iceberg lettuce and that kind of thing, because the green leafy vegetables tend to have a much tougher surface, so the bacteria doesn't stick to it, but still wash it. When it comes to your fruits, choose fruits that have a peel or a thick skin. And again, if you're going to eat the skin like an apple, make sure that you wash it thoroughly.
Okay. My health tip before we get to the car doctor, he's waiting on us. Along with your body, make efforts to stimulate and strengthen your brain as you age. And I heard a little bit on TV before I left the house. They were saying that a lot of older people, we try to do our exercising with our body, but we forget to work on our mental.
Yes.
I know my mom likes those puzzles, and they kind of keep you stimulated. Game shows, stuff like that cause you to think more. That's also part of it, because even though your body's good and healthy, if your brain, your mental health is not good, you're not going to have a good life. You're still going to be struggling.
Yeah, I think one of the seminars, as a matter of fact, that we had at one church on cognitive and mental health.
Yeah.
They mentioned to stave off dementia and Alzheimer's, which unfortunately is on the rise, and
Yeah.
we really don't know why, is to try to learn something new. Learn a different language, a second language. Learn how to play the piano, guitar, or something like that. As long as it's a new skill, it helps to develop your mind, creates new pathways in your brain, and staves off dementia. And the thing that impressed me is she said, you don't have to be good at it. Just do it.
Just
Try
do it.
to learn it.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we have the car doctor with us, the Reverend Harvey Johnson, all the way from Florida. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How's everyone?
Doing
Good,
well.
good,
Doing
good.
well.
Glad
Hope
to-
you are.
Wonderful.
One question: is it hot down there in Florida?
It's hot. It's hot in Florida, but you know, I had to come up to Fayetteville
Oh, did you?
yesterday.
Oh, did you? Oh,
I'm in Fayetteville.
so you're in misery with us now, right?
Yes, sir. But real quick, I want to talk about a little bit about that misery, the heat, and how it can affect everyone as far as the cars are concerned. Heat is the number one killer of automobiles, whether it's engine, transmission, even the car body, the paint, the trim. But if you keep it garage, you can kind of save off some of that. But here's the thing with heat. Heat and friction, you can't get around it. The best thing we can do is keep the oil checked and changed. Now, I'd like to share with you new things that I learned, and that is with some of the newer vehicles, if your car begin to run a little rough at idle or just malfunctioning all of a sudden, just about every mechanic friend of mine, the first question they ask is, what's your oil level? I said, okay, what does that have to do with, how the car is running? Well, it's built in. Electronically, if your oil level is not where it should be, the car will malfunction so that you will have to check all of that. Now you say, well, that's a smart car. Well, it's aggravating because if it costs you $500 to find out you need to add a quart of oil, that's not good. So you check your oil yourself.
Yeah.
Learn or get somebody to check it for you. Don't let it go until time to change again because there are built-in usages of oil. Some engines are designed to use a quart every 1,000 miles. And if you do a lot of driving, you'll be down 2 quarts before you know it, before the next oil change. So you have to check it and add it as needed. And don't skimp on quality. You say, well, I don't have a big luxury car, so I don't need that full synthetic. I don't need that expensive oil. Well, it depends on which smaller, less expensive car you have, because many of them have these small engines and they are running turbos. A turbocharged engine, even if it's a 1 liter or 1.5 liter, which are powering many cars now, they run extremely hot. They need the best oil you can possibly put in there, because if it runs dry just for a second or two, it's damaged, and it could seize and blow. If the turbocharger seizes and blows, it blows metal all throughout the engine. So now you not only need a turbo, you could possibly need an engine too, and they're not cheap. They're very expensive to replace the engine in just about any car now. And not only does the engine cost, but the labor.
Wow.
They tell you it takes, that's a 10-hour job. Well, how much is the labor per hour? 150, 180.
Yeah.
So you see, it's planned, yes, and I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, but I've watched it over the years, how many cars have obsolete parts. Mercedes started doing it over 20 years ago. When I saw this one garage, a friend of mine had a Mercedes there, beautiful car, it was a CLS. Oh, it was beautiful. But it was obsolete. Couldn't get the parts, and nobody rebuilt the part. The part was not available. It was specific to that car. And I found that many others are like that. Some of my vehicles, part had to be sent off and remanufactured and sent back. It had to be for that car specific. So that's not a rare thing. It's something that's been quietly being done. One of my things that I do as a therapy, I used to call it, I'd go to junkyards just to see what I could find, And that's becoming the thing of the past because there's a company called LKQ. I don't know what LKQ stands for, but they bought all of the junkyards, all of the big ones throughout the country. I thought that was interesting, but they standardized everything. The prices were cheap, so I said, that's good. But then they suddenly sold them. And I found out that you can't purchase, for most vehicles, you can't purchase a brand new engine. Say you have a vehicle that you want to keep that vehicle. You say, well, I'm just going to put a new engine in it. Okay, it's going to cost $6-7 grand. Well, you can't get a brand new engine. It has to be a remanufactured engine. And I ran into that too with my truck back over 10 years ago. I wanted a brand new engine. The truck was in great shape. I wanted a new engine. I was still working, so say I'll just go ahead and do this. Brand new, just old school, brand new. Just don't try to rebuild anything. They said, sir, we understand, but we don't sell new engines. This was Ford. So we don't sell new engines. We sell remanufactured engines. But we give you a new engine warranty. I had no choice. That's all was available, was a remanufactured. Now, there's a difference in rebuilt and remanufactured. And I know some of you know the difference, but rebuilt is they'll take the old parts, reuse the parts that are good, and put in the damaged parts new. That's rebuilt. Remanufactured, they take it down to the block, boil it out, acid dip it, and rebore everything, new parts, bearings, crank, rod, everything brand new. So it is essentially a new engine, but that's the way things are now. And they take the old engine as a core. And guess what? Somebody's going to get your old engine as a remanufactured engine because Ford doesn't build them. Chevrolet doesn't build them. Chevrolet is having a hard time with their engines, their LS motors right now, specifically the 6.2 liter, the ones in the Escalade and the Denali's, and they're having a big problem. They had to go back to the drawing board and redesign those engines. So those engines are not supposed to be available next year. They're coming out instead of a 6.2. It's a brand new 6.7 liter.
Wow.
And the 5.3, which was pretty good, that's being replaced by a 5.7. Excuse me.
Wow.
Completely redo because the internals of those engines were subpar. They were breaking at 20,000, 30,000 miles. They were gone. Okay. So that's why people who are in the know are avoiding those vehicles because the engines are faulty. They'll put a new engine in it, but it's going to go too if it's the same engine.
Wow.
Well,
They said, why is this? They've been building engines for years. Well, Chevrolet or GM, Ford, the Chrysler, they have, but they don't build their own engines anymore. They farm it out. So they have other companies build these engines, which they really don't care. They don't have a horse in the race, so to speak. So they don't care if GM is profitable or not. You want these engines, these are the specs, here it is. Excuse me. So that's what we're up against. With heat, we can, whatever we own, we need to just do the best we can with it. Don't stretch out the oil changes. They tell you change your oil, every 5, 7, 8,000 miles. Don't listen to them. Change that oil. If you change it every 3,000 miles, that's not too soon because oil breaks down. Okay, it gets hot. If you look at oil, fresh oil, it looks like honey pouring it in there. Ride on it a couple of weeks and drain it and have them to show you that oil after it's dark.
It's dark. I've seen it.
yeah.
Okay, so the oil is the weak point. Oil is cheaper than an engine, so every no more than 5,000 miles, change the oil and put the best you can get in there. I use full synthetic because it has the best viscosity. In other words, it's the slipperiest. It will help prolong your engine. And you have to just trust that they're making the synthetic oil as good as they used to.
Yeah. Dr. Johnson, you answered my question about the color and the consistency of the oil. The other question I have about this heat that we're experiencing and the car itself and the engine is the cooling system. And the reason I ask this question is because regular oil change, they check your coolants and all that, and they recommended that I have a coolant flush, and I think it was between about $170 some or $300 to flush that cooling system. How important is that to be done, and how should we check the cooling system and the coolant for the engine?
Okay, the coolant is very important, and you check it, make sure, number one, it stays full. Number two, if you see it changing colors or getting cloudy or it doesn't look like the new coolant does, there's some contamination, in there. And I couldn't say where the contamination is coming from, but you don't want that coolant to be contaminated because the engines are made of aluminum, and not all the aluminum is the same. Some engines have a better casting than others, and the aluminum won't, what's the word I'm looking for? It won't deteriorate. So if you notice, when you go to buy coolant, just about every manufacturer has their own coolant. The Asian cars have their own. The German cars have their own. The Japanese cars have their own. They're all different colors. They have different chemicals in there that reacts to the metal that it's made of. Because they don't all use the same kind of metal. It's aluminum, yes, but it's not of the same consistency. So whatever coolant, and don't use whatever you use. Don't use the ones that are good for all cars. That's
okay.
That is not good. If you have a Lexus, use the coolant that's for a Lexus, or it may say Asian cars, and they'll have listed, Lexus, Toyota, Honda, that right down the line, because they're proprietary. So you want to use what they tell you on coolant. It's just as important as oil long term. If you're like me and you keep your cars a long time, you want to take care of that. Okay. Now, do they overcharge for flushing the coolant? Yes, they do. Mm-hmm. But is it necessary? It is. Not as often. You probably can go 60,000 miles without doing that again. Maybe even more. But I would at least follow the manufacturer's recommendation on that.
Awesome.
Yes. What will happen is if you get corrosion in that system, that's what happens to your cooling system. Corrosion will get you. Mm-hmm. And it eats through to somewhere it shouldn't be. Now you have a big problem, possibly even catastrophic failure.
Wow.
A newer engine is not so much, but if you keep a car a while and you want to keep it longer, that's something that should be done. But find somebody to do it at a reasonable rate. If they want to charge 3 hours and it's $200 an hour, that's excessive. Find somebody to drain it, flush it, refill it. I mean, the coolant doesn't cost that much.
We got a caller, Reverend Johnson got a question for you. Hello, Angela. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Pastor Ron. How's everybody?
Good.
I just want to say that I'm listening to the broadcast, and the car doctor is so on point. I just experienced this yesterday about the oil situation. I have a Buick Verano turbo, and so I noticed that my car, it was sounding rough, and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, Lord, now I can't afford for my car to be messing up. And lo and behold, I just heard a soft voice say, check your oil. And I'm like, it's not time. My oil light will come on and let me know when I need to add oil or when it needs changing, and it's not come on. And so I kept hearing check your oil. So this morning, before I drove it, I checked my oil, and lo and behold, it needed oil. And I'm like, what is going on? Do I have a leak? And so I just want to say thank you so much, Pastor Ron, you all, for having the car doctor on. And, you talked about single and parenting, stuff like this, information like this. It is so beneficial and needed for a single mothers. I am a widow and I'm a foster parent. I need my car. So thank you for having the car doctor on. And everybody listen to the car doctor because he is so on point. Thank you.
All right. Well, you got a witness there, Reverend Johnson.
Okay, Scott.
Yeah.
So glad to be able to help.
Yeah. And so thank you for sharing that with us. So we need to make sure we keep those fluids checked, and don't wait till that light to come on, or wait for that number to kick in. Go ahead and do it. Like 3,000, like you said. That's a good number.
And when the temperature is 100 degrees outside, that oil's not going to last 3 months.
Yeah.
No, it won't. It won't.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Reverend Johnson. Anything else you want to tell us?
Well, no, I don't want to prolong the time. That was the main thing. I tried to hit a few points and move on so you guys can help with your other points.
All right, and welcome to Hot Favor again.
All right, well, thank you.
All right. That was the car doctor, Reverend Harvey Johnson from Florida. He's here visiting his daughter in Fayetteville, so he's right around the corner right now. But we're glad to have him call in once a month and share with us some tips. Helps Tammy out tremendously, and got me making sure I don't get no gas except at a couple places to make sure I get the right gas and get the oil change. I mean, he really if you listen, he'll help you save your car, and I'm listening.
Yeah. Dr. Ron, you said you wanted to talk briefly about the baseball salary cap.
Yeah,
what you got?
That's something, ain't it? Baseball is currently the only major North American professional sport league without the traditional hard salary cap. That means their players can make as much as they want to, the team can play as much as they want to, but they're finding out that because they're paying all this money, the tickets are getting so high that regular people cannot afford to come to the game.
Games, yeah.
So that's why they're threatening to do this within the next year. And of course, that might be a strike because the players are making that good money, and somebody said the other day that I think Ohtani played for the Dodgers, $100 million, but he's hold off to 10 years. They stopped paying him in 10 years. I mean, just unreal money. So, what do you think about that?
As far as attendance is concerned, football may be king.
Yeah.
But when it comes to money paid out, money earned, money going into the league, nothing touches professional baseball. I have a relative that works for the Baltimore Orioles organization. And if you attend a baseball game, regular season home baseball game, first of all, when you hit the parking lot, you can count on $100 to park your car.
Wow.
That doesn't include the cost of the ticket to get into the stadium. $50 seats.
They ain't no such thing.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay upwards of couple of $100 to see a major league baseball game, and then you're going to be in the nosebleed area.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's good for the players that they're making this money, but if they don't fill that stands, they're going to eventually not be able to, continue.
The way Major League Baseball gets around is instead of having a hard cap, baseball utilizes what they have called a competitive balance tax or luxury tax, which penalizes teams that exceed a specific payroll threshold.
Right.
In 2026, the competitive balance tax threshold is $244 million.
Right.
So that's just for 1 year. So if they got players who, and they're not exceeding that $244 million cap, they don't have to pay that tax.
Okay.
But
now, is that tax on the team or that 240?
Yeah, that's tax on the team.
If they go over,
and not on the individual. If they go over that $244 million
the team,
per year.
yeah, team pays the escalating tax rate for every dollar they spend over this amount.
And guess who that tax is paid to? Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
it's not paid to the federal government.
Oh, so that's why baseball ain't got no problem with that.
They don't have a problem with it. And Major League Baseball, we know that these Major League Baseball players, they have been the most successful at player strikes. You know, when they decide they're not being treated fairly, okay, we won't play for 10 games. Those strikes don't last very long before the owners come around and say, okay, what is it that you really want? So when it comes to economics and popularity, baseball still seems to be king in America. And I don't know, unless the government becomes involved, I don't know if we're going to see a salary cap in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
because I don't think the players want it.
You
Because
think they still
if you can negotiate like Ohtani, if you can negotiate for an $800 million salary over a 10-year period of time, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but you don't think you're gonna run enough people affordable to pay $100 parking? Somebody was talking about the other day, you could easily spend $1,000 at one baseball game, just you and your family, maybe.
Sir,
and a couple kids.
Think about this. Baseball has 180 some games. So on any given day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, there's a professional baseball game being played in America. Well, people at work, who's going to watch the games at the stadium? It's not the ticket price.
It's the other stuff.
It's the television, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
When you have Major League Baseball channel, all the major networks, Fox and everybody else carries Major League Baseball. You can sit in the comfort of your air-conditioned home, turn on the television set, and watch all the baseball. You can watch baseball from 6 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock that night if you choose to. So if nobody shows up at the stadium, and then the merchandising.
Oh, yeah.
You know, matter of fact, my relative gave me a signed baseball. She told me to check it because it might be worth some money she didn't know. And so I hadn't done it yet. I'm just admiring the baseball because it's a Major League Baseball.
Right.
And so, you know, when you buy a jersey or a cap, you know, $15, $25 for a baseball cap, and they're selling like hotcakes. So.
Yeah. And how many people be in the stand? 100,000?
No,
not quite.
It might be 15 or
20,000. But it can seat up to.
But then now when it gets to the playoffs, and those kinds of things, you're going to see 40, 50, 60,000 people in a stadium.
Yeah. Ooh, that's something, ain't it?
But if you want to attend the World Series, you're talking about a $30,000 ticket.
Not counting parking and refreshments. Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I don't think Major League Baseball is really hurting
for money.
And like I say, if they can afford to pay Ohtani $100,000 $100 million for 1 year, they not hurting that bad.
I know it. Well, listen, it's been fun, but we got to run. And remember, only thing the evil needs to triumph is for good men to do good.
Nothing.
Do nothing.